Yeah. Oh. What up, fight room? This that casino water. Y'all know about that casino water. That water from the casino be ooh. To be crystal clear. Yeah. What up, fight world? Man, remember I told y'all I had some stuff to do? I went to do it. Everything closed. I forgot it's Easter. So I just stopped by the Walmart. Now we got to talk about it. This is one of them episodes. We're not even doing the roll call. We straight to the money. We got to get to the actual factuals, talk this boxing. And the great thing is Eagles Army, new media, we just keep getting bigger and bigger, stronger and stronger. You know, like Nipsey said, plus I'm the type to own my own masters. We own our own masters. We control the narrative. We run the boxing game. So, you know, we can speak freely and talk. See, listen, the difference between new media and old media, they want to be just like us. Old media, they want to fight. I know they're jealous of the, you know, when they see me at fights and fans is coming up with me, oh, hey, I watch your shit. I love your channel. You know, taking pictures. So they want to be like your boy. They want to be like this new media movement, right? They can't, though. It takes a special, you know, anointed soul to do it. You can't be emotional, you know. It just like the beginning of the Warren G song "Regulator" with Nate Dogg, rest in peace, Nate Dogg. You know, you can't be any geek off the street. You got to be real handy with the steel, earn your keep. You know what I mean? Regulator, mount up. It was a clear black thing, a clear mic, Warren G. Back up, cause it's on. You can't be any geek off the street. You gotta be handy with the steel. You know what I'm saying? Like this new media shit, we really pushing the envelope. Now, Bob Arum said some craziness, and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna dissect it. I wanted to make a separate video because I made the regular video. And see, this is the great thing about new media. This is what I do full time. Today I got time, cuz, so I could keep doing. You know, I could do videos around the clock if I want. I got that Tupac work ethic. That's why it's so raw to see, cause I'm a little skinny niggas battling lions. So we could today I got time, cuz. Like we got time for this. We could talk. Old media cannot keep up with what we doing. They cannot speak more truth than what we doing. They cannot get more respect in this game than we do. This is like Jay in his prime with The Rock. You know? Master P in his prime with No Limit. We the new Rock. We the new No Limit. You know what I'm saying? Cash Money at its best. Fuck the rest. Old media is struggling, and they're going to continue to struggle because new media is on the scene. You know? And I'm not here to just cater to any. Listen, I told you, I don't have nothing. I want to see great fights just like you guys want to see great fights. But I'm not. You're not going to threaten me. That's for sure. You know, talk about, oh, you can't cover my events or some stupid shit. You know, I can't lie to myself. I don't know if you're being facetious. He said, big ego, you back from Home Depot, bruh. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just being honest. Man, I drove all the way to Home Depot. The shit was closed. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Easter Sunday. And then I'm like, oh man, I need to get something to eat. I drove to Chick-fil-A and that shit was double closed. Cause Chick-fil-A already closed on regular Sunday, so you know these motherfuckers was closed for Easter Sunday. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even get a fucking Chick-fil-A sandwich. I drove up, I went to Home Depot and them motherfuckers had plywood and all types of shit by the door like it was a like a barricade and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Oh shit, it's Easter. These motherfuckers had all type of cedar wood and shit in front of the door and pallets, and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I went to Home Depot. Ha ha ha. I went to Home Depot. That motherfuckers was closed. They just threw their orange vests. Won't be needing this, Took them orange vests off. Then I drove to Chick-fil-A. I'm like, yeah, I could at least get something to eat, because food places. Chick-fil-A, this shit said double closed. Like, I drove to Chick-fil-A. The sign said, nigga, we closed. I was like, damn, why did Chick-fil-A write that sign? They was double closed. They said, nigga, you know what it is. Hey, cuz, you know what it is. Chick-fil-A be banging on Sunday. You know we at church, cuz. You know what the fuck it is, Buster? You mark ass. I was like, oh shit. Chick-fil-A banging on me with the sign. That's what the sign said at Chick-fil-A. It said, you know we closed, cuz. The fuck? You know we locked out on Sundays? I was like, oh my gosh, these motherfuckers double closed. So anyway, I went to Wendy's. I got me a spicy chicken. He said $5, Buster. Oh, do you ever laugh when you're not expected to laugh and the shit lightweight hurt and like you feel like parts of your soul like leaving? I wasn't planning on laughing when I just read that $5, Buster. That shit fucked me up a little bit. That's like when you peeing in the morning. Men, we got that morning piss. Yeah, it feel good. You slept and had all these dreams of drinking water and shit. So you peed and you fuck around and sneeze and piss all over your fucking bathroom. That shit feel crazy when I be trying to hold. You gotta sneeze when you piss. Fuck around, pissed all on the ceiling, on the mirror. I was on some R. Kelly shit, bro. That sneeze fucked me up, bro. You like achoo! Oh shit! There's piss everywhere. What the fuck? I pissed on my toothbrush, all types of stuff. Anyway, what's poppin'? Let's talk about it. Can't go wrong with Wendy's. Yeah. Let's talk about this shit. So anyway, OG Bobby Arum is promoting what he want to promote. Some craziness. I think to be honest, I think he was mad that Khan quit. So that fueled him into a rage. You know what I'm saying? Because if you the promoter of the event, you don't want the shit to end like that for your Khan ain't his fighter like that. Terrence Crawford is. Crawford was doing good, and he didn't get the proper conclusion in a traditional way. So I think Arum might have been mad. Not to make an excuse, because he still shouldn't have said what he said. But I think that made him mad, because he came into the interviews sounding crazy. Yeah, Khan talking about his nuts is in his upper thigh and shit. What are you, RoboCop? You remember when RoboCop had that little Glock built into his thigh? Khan got his Johnson and shit on the thigh. He's like, man, you hit my nuts. Ain't nobody nuts this high up. You a giraffe or something. If your nuts is all the way up there, bro, you I don't know what you are, a giraffe or something. Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. Ain't no damn nuts up there. Pause. See, y'all got me talking crazy about nuts and shit, bro. Man, we got old media in a Cobra clutch. I told y'all. Cause once again, we see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So let's talk about it. Bob Arum, it was quoted with the Los Angeles Times, but I guess he said it to just press. He says that basically Al Haymon is persuading Errol Spence to not fight Terrence Crawford because he shouldn't work with a white promoter. White. Yeah, like cocaine white. Listen, that's a wild, unsubstantiated, absurd conclusion. So out of all the things you could think of, you played the race card there. This is like there's a Gerald Miller's co-promoter, not Eddie Hearn, but the Cohen, that's his other promoter. Her name is Sarah. She just did something similar, said Gerald Miller is that's in 2 days. That's two white, like, you know, Caucasian man and Caucasian woman who have used race in situations in boxing where it's not even applicable. So Gerald Miller's co-promoter, Sarah or whatever, is being reported. You guys can find the article. She basically said Gerald Miller's under fire, under attack, and the reactions are what it is because he's black. And I'm like, no, like Gerald Miller, that's my guy, but he messed up. He even told you, he said, I messed up. He failed for like 3 different things and 2 different tests and came out at 3 different times. That's different. That if anybody in boxing went through that, they would be getting reamed. They'd be getting ridiculed by the fans. So you can't associate that with, you know, oh, but you guys didn't do this to Canelo. Canelo didn't do 3 different things and like have no plausible excuse and then do a I'm sorry video. You know what I'm saying? So you can't compare. So that's, once again, that's 2 Caucasian people within, you know, 2 days, 1 male, 1 female, who in boxing have tried to bring up the race card, in my opinion, at inopportune situations and times where it's not even really applicable. And the funny thing is, when you black in America, if you black and you bring up the race card and talk about real life scenarios, real life things that are happening, you have people, you have the ops who say, oh, all you black people do is cry. Oh, blacks just cry. They don't prove you wrong. They don't listen to the argument. They don't care about the facts and examples on top of examples, on top of racks on racks on racks that you can provide to support your claims. They just say, oh, you crying. Oh, blacks are crying. Oh, da-da-da. Oh, police brutality. Oh, Black Lives Matter. And sweep it under the rug, or attempt to. Meanwhile, you have other people who are making these kind of, in my opinion, radical claims, bringing up the race card, and it there's no proof of that. Like I said, name somebody for, those are 2 Caucasian white people in 2 days in boxing that both used the race card to justify whatever was going on in those situations. Name someone else who has a equivalent situation to Gerald Miller and it played out similarly in a big fight that everyone was anticipating, where, you know, they weren't ridiculed for failing with HGH, EPO, some hardcore stuff in this GWS 15, 16, G14 classified WD-40 ass drugs. Name a time where, you know, so you can't use the race card there, because if anybody had HGH and EPO and all this shit in their system, you know, fucking, you know what I'm saying, like moonshine and all this different shit in their system, I don't think that's a race thing at that point. You know, that's just a cheating versus not cheating, and we're mad that a big fight got canceled thing. You know, that's not really something like, oh, y'all did this because he black or because he's Mexican or he's this. He's getting ridiculed because he tried to cheat and he ruined the event. So that's, you know, that's that situation. Now Arum, here he go talking about Al Haymon is like, first of all, this is what I'm talking about with old media. When I bring up injustices and double standards, I can prove them. Shout out to Jeremiah. We got a new member, I guess. I haven't seen it show up on the screen though. But anyway, when it shows up on the screen, I'll announce it. The shit I'm saying I could prove. I could give you examples. I could show you. That's the difference. That's why I tell you, old media wants to be like new media, but they can't, because I'm not just arbitrarily making up shit and making up examples, saying examples that aren't factual. So there's no tit for tat unless the situations are similar. And oftentimes what old media does, it's not. This is pure speculation and conjecture with no plausible explanation and or no concrete proof, and you're slandering and demeaning somebody's name, reputation, and character publicly. Once again, I can prove the stuff I tell y'all, and I oftentimes do. I show receipts. I show you the quote. I source out where I got the information, show you the video, show you Steve Rose's box rec so you can see he's never competed in a 12-rounder. I show you that. With Bob Arum, there's nothing in this situation unless he has secretly recorded conversations or something. How you know what Al Haymon is coaching Errol Spence on? How would you know that? Pure speculation. See, I know Derrick James. Errol Spence knows me, right? And I don't even know what Al Haymon and him talk about career-wise one-on-one, right? So somebody who's not even affiliated at all with the PBC infrastructure and beyond Errol Spence's camp particularly, I know people, that work with PBC and different things. You know what I'm saying? And like not PBC. I know people in Texas, all types of shit. And they don't even know what the fuck, what's discussed behind closed doors. So how Arum know that? How Arum know, what's being said? Al Haymon's not doing any type of interviews. So how you know what he's saying? Al Haymon could have strep throat right now. We wouldn't fucking know. He might not be able to talk right now. That motherfucker, he could have strep throat drinking hot toddies. How you know what he's saying? Once again, exactly. No answer. Nobody can explain. Nobody can confirm. This is what old media is nefarious for. They are notorious for. This is what they continually do. Wild accusations and speculations that they couldn't even begin to explain how they got that intel or how they know that. And then you play the race card, right? And pretend to be this victim. And it doesn't add up because PBC has more diversity than you. PBC has more diversity. I'm talking about with their staff and the fighter. When you look at people of color, white people, and different people, PBC has the most people of color and diversity. Not just with the fighter roster, with their staff too. Because I go to everybody's events. When I go to top rank events, there's like one black chick, light-skinned black chick, and the rest of the people are white. Todd DeBuff, and I'm not going to start name dropping a bunch of people, but most of the people that work directly, Christina Poncher and all that, most of them are white. You go to Golden Boy, most of the people, are, I seen a lot of Hispanic people at Golden Boy events. Like I'm talking about Golden Boy staff, right? And then look at the Golden Boy, the fighters that get the most exposure on Golden Boy, and tell me black fighters over on Golden Boy are getting, maximum exposure. It's funny too. Luis Ortiz, Golden Boy had him. Golden Boy had Luis Ortiz. Some people forget this because it happened. Lots happened since then. Luis Ortiz was with Golden Boy. Cuban, Afro-Cuban, darker complected Cuban, not like light skin like a Canelo. They did nothing with them. None of his memorable fight, Tony Thompson, he was fighting them type of guys under Golden Boy. He didn't get a title shot until Al Haymon. So, this stuff, make sure you guys smash the like button. Yeah, I don't care, bro. At this point, I don't even care. I'm here. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a realist. I'm willing to listen to someone else's point, but then when I start looking at it and interpreting it, and you're not doing anything to substantiate your claims, then I just got to file that under the bullshit. Unless you could tell me something right here and now where you can make that accusation that Al Haymon is convincing with no evidence his people not to work with a white promoter. Lou DiBella, he works with Al Haymon often. Wilder versus Brazil, I think, is a DiBella deal. Richard Schaefer ain't black, and he worked with them. Tom Brown is white. Brittany Goosen is white. They all work with Al Haymon. So if anybody is saying that, that doesn't even make sense, bro. And then you know what? The worst part about it is this: Ego's Army, we only getting stronger, and we representing boxing the right way. Because I got Ego's Army members who they start adding on to the conversation. So this is what I love, because there's strength in numbers, and people see, they see it's not just me saying shit and then I'm just trying to brainwash y'all. The fans see it too. So the fans start giving me stuff that I didn't even think about, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a good point. So I'm very proud of Ego's Army and New Media, the digital mob, money on top of boxing. You know, we are the motherfucking mob, because we're talking real boxing talk, none of this emotional bullshit, and we're trying to have insightful, intelligent conversation. Guess what somebody told me? They hit me up, you know, to add on to what I was already saying about this situation. Guess the point that they made on my video. If y'all want to hear the point that they made, Ego's Army, that I wasn't even, you know, I brought up, I bring up examples that come to me, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't even thinking about this particular example. And all this stuff the Ego's Army is doing is pop, 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 totally shooting down this accusation, wild accusation. If y'all want to hear what the person brought up, a great point from Ego's Army, can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? And let's get them likes up. Let's smash the like button. And if y'all want to hear it, you know, I got to make sure y'all still with me, paying attention, interacting. Smash the like button. And can I get a hell yeah in the comment section? All right, Doc Rivers won it. Okay. I'm getting a little bit more motivated now. Yeah. Shout out to Chan. What's up? Mark, what's up? We just chilling. We just sorting this shit out. Shout out to Hiru. Okay, the fans won it. So Al Haymon is encouraging people not to work with a white promoter, according to Bob Arum, right? That's what he's speculating based on God knows what. Los Angeles Times was the first one. Shout out to them to report it. Los Angeles Times. Bob Arum claims Al Haymon will discourage Errol Spence Jr. fight deal with white promoter. Lance Pugmire, April 21st. So, just to catch you up to speed, that's the accusation from Bob Arum, is that, you know, Arum is saying Al Haymon is coaching there's a lot of names. Bob Arum is saying that Al Haymon is coaching Errol Spence to not fight Terrence Crawford, to not work with the white promoter, him, you know, in Top Rank. And he's, you know, trying to keep it a brother thing or some bullshit. Guess what Ego's Army brought up? They said, how come Deontay Wilder's co-manager is Shelly Finkel, who works with Al Haymon? Shelly Finkel been in the business. He's white as can be. This is crazy. So once again, it can't just be me in the media who sees this stuff. People got to speak up. Like, I don't cover every single fight, but people need to start pulling up to the scene instead of asking what the fuck people's shoes are and trying to stay in people's good graces. We got to get to the bottom of this shit in boxing, bro. Because like me, I know ain't no motherfucker going like put out no, like at a high level, somebody who's at my level going to put out crazy stuff about me without backing it up. You know what I'm saying? So that's several people. So Lou DiBella, Brittany Goosen, Tom Brown, Richard Schaefer, and Shelly Finkel directly and closely work with Al Haymon on a routine basis. Shelly Finkel looks like an innocent, you know, older white man. Like, he don't look like he grew up in, you know, Malibu's Most Wanted or some shit. Like, he just out here, you know, cripping, like, on Slauson and shit. He looked like a, you know, regular white male. And these people routinely work, and Bob Arum's going to say some cockamamie stuff like this. It makes no sense. Then you could dive deeper and say, how did Dominique Wade, an Al Haymon advised fighter, Danny Jacobs, an Al Haymon advised fighter, how did they fight Gennady Golovkin with Tom Loeffler at those times when Golovkin fought them, if he's not willing or unwilling? Those were big fights. The Golovkin wasn't huge, but it was still an HBO main event. So how did Al Haymon advise Dominique Wade fight against Triple G? Al Haymon advised Danny Jacobs fight Triple G. Not only that, Danny Jacobs was given permission or advised or whatever. He was free to make a deal with Eddie Hearn, who he's been having promote his events. and he's working with Golden Boy and Eddie Hearn to make the Canelo Jacobs fight. So how could you say any of this? If Al Haymon doesn't give his blessing because he wants to keep it in the brotherhood, or, you know, brothers got to stick together or whatever bullshit, then why is Danny Jacobs over there with HBO with Eddie Hearn, and then when they went out of business, he went to DAZN with Eddie Hearn, and now he's fighting Canelo with Golden Boy? This don't make sense. That shit is cap. Shooters, help me police the comment section, because I'm not really worried about what they saying, because I already know what I'm saying is true. Yeah, block Billy Joe. We don't give a fuck what you talking about. So, yeah, he capping. I just gave you several examples of people who either work routinely in-house with PBC that are all non-black. Actually, Louis de Cuba's, you know, I'm just going off of memory from people I see. Name a black promoter that Al Haymon even uses. Real talk. I'm trying to think of fights. Like, I might be missing somebody. But name a black promoter that Al Haymon even works with. Because Tom Brown's white. Richard Schaefer is, I don't know where the fuck he from. Austria or some shit. You know. Brittany Goosen, white. Louis de Cubas, who's Cuban, I think. I don't even know what black, he don't even have black promoters in his own shit. I never seen no, I can't think of nobody unless y'all could tell me. And I'm not talking about like fighters who have promotional companies. I'm talking about promoters who's doing, introducing the Barclays, you know, CEOs and shit like that. Don King don't work for Al Haymon. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. If y'all keep doing these wild guests, I'm not in the mood. Y'all getting blocked. Y'all gonna get blocked for Easter. And then we gonna be hunting for your ass like an Easter egg. I'm not playing no games. Oh, Leonard Ellaby. That is one. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2. And I never even see Mayweather at all, so I really consider, I mean, I know it's his shit, but Leonard Ellaby's the one. I never even see. Nah, man, we not trying to have these wild guesses and shit, bro. We trying to have real boxing conversation. Oh yeah, Sam Watson. But is he a promoter? I don't know. I don't know if he's a promoter more so like Tim Smith and Sam Watson. I don't know if they have promoter's license. I don't know. I don't know everybody's position. I don't think Sam Watson is I don't think he's a promoter. Like when I go to Wilder Fury, he's there, but I think he's like, he works for PBC, obviously, but he's facilitating other things and, you know, making sure the fighters' flights come in. You know, he's doing stuff like that. He's not the one. It don't say Sam Watson Promotions that I remember. Tim Smith is vice president, but these aren't promoters. I'm talking about actual promoters. Tim Smith, yeah, he works for PBC. Sam Watson works for PBC. I didn't say there's no, like I just said, you guys have to learn to listen. I said PBC has perhaps the most diverse people working for it from what I've seen at their events. And the question is, what promoters do they have that are black? We came up with one, Leonard Ellaby. All these other people may work for PBC, but I don't believe that they're actual promoters. Yeah, they might promote a fight or tell you, oh, yeah, it's a good-ass fight, watch it. But I'm talking about actual promoters with the promoter's license, and they're the ones on stage talking. You don't see Sam Watson talking on the podium at every show. You don't see that. If Tank's fighting, you don't see Sam Watson getting on stage introducing Tank. You see Leonard Ellaby, you know? So that don't count. I'm talking about actual people promoting. So anyway, if at best there's not many that are actually, Louis de Cuba, he's actually a promoter with them. Lou DiBella actually a promoter with them. Richard Schaefer and Ring Star Sports actually a promoter. Leonard Ellaby is actually a promoter. So out of 4 people that we just named, you know, 1 happens to be black. Tim Smith and all these other people, they're black, but they're not the actual promoters. Yeah, exactly. Part of the media. That's what I'm saying. They facilitate stuff, make sure fighters' flights come in. You know, Watson sends his sons to the locker room and walk out with them. That's different stuff. I'm talking about actual promoters. And Steven Espinoza, you could throw him in there. He's not black. He's with Showtime. I guess you say he's kind of like a promoter. He's like the head of that. So I mean, come on, man. Like the claims from Arum make no sense. You know that's just off the top of my head. You know, this is not no thought out, long drawn thing. Like this is just off the top of my head. Why is Danny Jacobs working with the white promoter right now, and Al Haymon still advise him? Danny Jacobs, people were like, "Hey, did you leave Al Haymon?" He's like, "No, I started my career with Al Haymon. I love Al Haymon. I'm gonna finish my career with Al Haymon." So he's still advised by Al Haymon. That he's still part. Al Heyman's still part of his team, and he's working with Eddie Hearns. Wilder just had a meeting with DAZN. John Skipper, another non-black businessman in boxing, who owns DAZN or partially owns it. So Bob Arum, I need to hear how this is true. Like, how can you just randomly accuse someone of something heinous and like racist, basically, and being racist with no proof? I don't get it. Like, you can't give me no examples of when this has happened. He's working with Shelly Finkel, who works with Wilder. You know, his staff is diverse. You know, what's the basis? You know, what's the basis? 50 Cent hadn't, oh my gosh, bro. Fire Flame, you way off the mark. I'm about to get you blocked. I'm really, shooters. If Fire Flame, we gonna fire you with a flame. If he says one more cockamamie comment, please get rid of him. He talking about 50 Cent was a boxing promoter for a while. Nobody gives a fuck what you talking about. 50 Cent had nothing to do with Al Haymon. He had SMS promotions and Power Show. He has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So you have one more opportunity to think about what you type in these comment sections. My shooters have been alerted because you looking like the ops. You looking like op right now because you're constantly leaving these comments trying to distract people. So if you want to see real Fire Flame, shooters, his name is Fire Flame. If he leaves one more, bow, got him. Yeah, I told you he was an op. I know it. I knew it. He said, "Shut the fuck up, pussy." I knew he would. See, I told you, I smelled the rats. I could tell. Everything I'm saying, he's like bringing up wild, far out shit. And then now he's like, "Shut the fuck up, pussy." I knew it was an op. I told you. I could smell these narcs. You not one of us. This is a secret society. I knew it. I smell these rats. You see how quickly he turned? Shut the fuck up, pussy. See? He was trying to blend in and shit. We know. Come on, bro. You not one of us, bro. Sniffed him out. Told you. I told you he was wearing a wire. Yeah, that shit ain't gonna do nothing. You can't stop this message. You can't stop this message. The message is already out. So you can do all that little stupid shit, but you can't stop this message. I'm the fireman. Fireman. Oh, my shooters took care of that quick, too. I saw your small debate with Tevin Farmer on Twitter. He ain't get it. LOL was getting offended for no reason. Because somebody, see, this is what happens in this game. Somebody, like, will tell a fighter something and then, you know, show him something. You know, people, whatever. Tevin Farmer's my dude. I was a fan of his, still a fan of his before he became a champion. The point I was making had nothing. It was nothing. It wasn't a slight to him. It wasn't challenging his, you know, stones. I know Philly fighters are tough. It wasn't nothing to do with Tank, him not wanting to fight Tank. So yeah, I don't understand why he did that. But we talked, so it's all good. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. But like I said, some people are instigators. I don't know if he just seen naturally or what. I don't know. But sometimes people be like I said, instigators. So they run back and tell fighters, "Oh, Ego said this about," or this person said, and they try to fan the flames and shit, bro. You can't do that with me because everything I say, I believe. Everything I say, I believe. So what we talking about? So as a man or a woman, if somebody has a problem with what I said, you know, a lot of these people have my number or ways to contact me, and we could talk. I can explain what I was saying. You can explain. We could be respectful. Everything's good. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. So I don't care. I'm putting this out to the public. I would do a secret Patreon or, you know, something like that if I didn't want everyone to hear the message. I don't care. Bob Arum can listen to this video. I still disagree with him. You know, I'm not disrespecting him as a man, but I disagree with what he's saying about Haymon not making the Spence Crawford fight because so he don't have to work with the white promoter. What is the basis from that? And the funny thing is, if you look at how Top Rank is set up, Golden Boy set up, and PBC, PBC, in my honest opinion, seem to give diversity more of a chance. They tend to give people more of an opportunity no matter what you are. Like Mikey Garcia has been afforded some good opportunities, good paydays. He came back, fought a tune-up, probably what he wanted. Then he fought for a title, his very second fight with Dejan Zlaticanin. He knocked him out. You know, he fought Broner, beat him, got the clout from that. Fought Sergey Lipinets, who's still a good fighter, knocked him down, beat him. You know, got the Easter unification, got that. You know, and then he asked for Spence and he got it in front of 50,000 people. Now, it didn't turn out how he wanted, but he still got it. You know, same thing with Broner. Broner's had a lot of opportunities and title shot. Broner lost to Sean Porter, got a title shot right after. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like I don't see the favoritism, but when you actually, if you really want to be real, when you look at some of these other promoters, you actually see where certain fighters seem to have more of a cakewalk schedule or a easier schedule to deal with or get they're at the forefront. They're the way they're talked about, like Top Rank. Since you really want to be real, Top Rank, they seem to cater to a lot of Eastern European and or foreign fighters. Like they're all in for Tyson Fury, they're all in for Lomachenko, Sergey all of them, all in for everybody. But then Terrence Crawford just seemed to be fighting anyone. But Lomachenko seems like he get to fight, you know, light touches here and there. Crawford just got to fight all the different styles, bigger, smaller, faster, slower, fat, skinny. He's just fighting anybody, trying to get all the smoke. And then Lomachenko, there's great fights for him, and it's selective. Oh, like they did a little bit on ESPN on the Crawford Khan thing, and Lomachenko's like, yeah, who is this Teofimo? He hasn't done anything. What did you do in your second fight to get a title shot with Orlando Salido? This is like it's like the pot calling the kettle black. How can Lomachenko say, who is this Teofimo? He's nobody. Who is he? You talking about him? So how Lomachenko get granted a second pro fight title shot, but Teofimo to have 10 fights? This is out of the question of absurd. It's absurd that Teofimo would dare ask for a Lomachenko shot. Get the fuck out of here, bro. See, now y'all starting to piss me off. Because you know this shit don't make no goddamn sense. So Lomachenko could do whatever he want, but Teofimo from New York, him and his pops, they gunning for a title shot. They want Lomachenko before they move up, and they're ludicrous for wanting that. This just makes no sense. Stop. Old media keeps making themselves look worse and worse, and I love it. Not even a challenge. It's too easy. Lomachenko got in his second pro fight on the Orlando Salido shot. End of story. So if Teofimo, he got 11 fights, he been knocking fools out. That's looking like the best option. You know, even though he's not a champion, it's looking like the best. I would pay out of all. I don't care if they're champions or Teofimo, who's not a champion. The only fight that I would pay for pay-per-view on Lomachenko, not like Lomachenko and Mikey Garcia or someone outside of Top Rank. Right now, two fights that I would pay pay-per-view for. Terrence Crawford and Lomachenko, which we know wouldn't happen because although Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes, you know Arum would never put Lomachenko in that position to get beat the fuck up by Terrence Crawford. And then 2, Teofimo. Those are the fights that I personally would pay for. Would pay pay-per-view. That's pay-per-view worthy. Lomachenko versus Corolla, you know, Toyota Corolla, Hyundai Accent, you know, Ford Focus, all these motherfuckers. Excuse me, Geo Metro. I'm not that Hyundai Elantra. Corolla, Nissan Maxima. No one would have paid for that. That ain't no pay-per-view. Richard Comey and Lomachenko ain't no pay-per-view. Maybe it could get interesting. Maybe, puncher's chance type fight. Luke Campbell ain't no pay-per-view with Lomachenko. This is what Leonard Ellerby was talking about. He says, I think Bob Arum's angry because he can't make the big fights for Lomachenko or Terrence Crawford. Loma versus the Wiz. Who's that? Diana Ross? Wiz Khalifa? I don't even know who the Wiz is. Fred Savage? So, yeah, man, this stuff don't make sense, And the other thing is this. Bob Arum is pitching, and see, this is like, it's actually bad for Top Rank and Bob Arum to be doing this, in my opinion, because it's showing your hand and it's making you look bitter. It's making you look more desperate. Whether you are or not, this is the perception, because you're going overboard, OD, to hate on Al Haymon, and people see it. Like, it's just like the people that come in to hate on me. I'm talking about boxing, and they be like, "Oh, you're fucking ugly, ego. Oh, shut the fuck up." Oh. That's clearly they hating. Because if you weren't hating and you really wanted to help the channel grow, but you had some, you could be like, "Hey, ego, it'd be better if you fix your audio," or "I don't like this or that." But when you just come in, "Oh, you little bitch, ego. Oh yeah, motherfucker." That's hate. You hating. We already know what that is. So that actually makes it look worse, in my opinion, for Bob Arum, because it's like outward and overtly hating. Like, you know what I'm saying? He literally on his own pay-per-view told people, he told everybody watching his Top Rank pay-per-view, ESPN pay-per-view, not to watch his competitors' fights. That's hating. I don't care who. I'll tell Bob Arum to his face. That's hating. You hating. You just say, "Oh yeah, he doesn't want to make the fights a boycott." And see, this is these old tactics that Bob Arum implores, right? This old tactic, that it doesn't work anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like Mayweather Pacquiao. That's not building. It's like, that era is done in boxing, because that was like, the internet wasn't really what it is exactly right now. It's just too much. Because back then, that was like 2015 and before. When I was starting this YouTube journey, there weren't that many channels. There weren't that many channels doing this. But now, fast forward to the future, there's a lot of people that try to do the same thing that I'm doing, like, commentary, try to cover fights, shit like that. So the game has evolved. Nobody's going to just fall for that, and be bamboozled and with no explanation. That don't work. That don't work anymore. So the thing is, everyone has an opinion, but you got to be able to explain your opinion. How can't you explain? Tell me how Errol Spence is being advised by another man, by a black man, to not work with a white promoter. So, hey, Errol Spence wants to make the fight, but he's being instructed, no, you can't make the fight because he's white. Like, come on. That sounds desperate. And here's another thing. Why is Arum this gung-ho on just Errol Spence? Just Spence. Why don't we have I told you this year, we got to keep the same mantra. Keep that same energy. Before Mikey made, in my opinion, what was foolish, which I told you, to go up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence, how come Arum, when Mikey was fresh and undefeated, had 2 belts, Lomachenko had just got 2 belts at lightweight, why didn't he have the same energy to make Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia? There's too many unexplained questions like that. So you love Al Haymon stable and Mikey doesn't even, he's not even like, he's been working with Al Haymon, but he's still technically a free agent. You know? So explain it. If he's so gung-ho now, to make the make the fight with Spence and Crawford, where was the same energy for Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia when they were undefeated, and it would have been for undisputed at the time? I can't believe that. When you're not keeping that same energy with the fight as good as that, then why would I believe that you want to make the Spence Garcia like that? I mean, Spence Crawford shit this much. And guess what? That's what they do to black fighters. Bob Arum is comparing Crawford to Sugar Ray Leonard. No disrespect. Sugar Ray Leonard's a legend. But he's comparing the white fighter, Lomachenko, to Muhammad Ali, who's, no disrespect to Sugar Ray, but Muhammad Ali transcends just boxing. Like, everybody knows who Muhammad Ali is. And he's iconic, outside of boxing and in boxing, right? So he feels that Lomachenko, and he's also been on record saying, aside from the Muhammad Ali comparison, he worked with Muhammad Ali too, which is disrespectful. But he also said that Lomachenko, right, is the best fighter that we've ever seen in life or some shit. But listen, look at who he's matching Crawford with. He's matching Crawford tougher than he's matching Lomachenko. So the lie detector test determined that was a lie. You keep saying like Lomachenko's number one pound for pound, better than Ali, and he's the best technical fighter or whatever of all time, but you're matching Crawford harder. So that the lie detector test determined that was a lie. There's no way you could believe that, but be putting Crawford with a variety of different styles to see what happens. You truly believe that Lomachenko is the greatest fighter to ever live, but you won't match him with Pacquiao, who wanted that smoke. You won't match him with Teofimo. He got to get a belt and all these excuses. You never made the Mikey Garcia fight, but you want to make Errol Spence and Crawford. He doesn't care about Crawford. This is why Floyd Mayweather left. See? Lomachenko ain't number one. Man, Lomachenko's cool. If Lomachenko and Canelo were in the same weight class, Canelo would beat his ass. Canelo would put hands on that man. And Canelo hasn't even reached the Floyd pinnacle. So he's disrespecting, ESPN and Dan Rafael talking about Loma beats Prime Floyd and Pretty Boy Floyd. Canelo would put hands on that man. On Lomachenko. Shit, Teofimo might, but we don't know because if Canelo was the same size as Lomachenko, we wouldn't even be talking about. You couldn't beat Salido. You're not fucking with Canelo because Canelo has pressure. He's big for his size, and he's educated, and he has a defense. All that jumping in and shit. All right, good luck. You're going to jump right into one of them. I was born ready. You're going to jump right into that shit because Canelo ain't fucking around. So, again, we can't say Lomachenko's the best, but, the best skilled ever. He couldn't even beat a Canelo. In my view, he wouldn't beat Canelo if they were the same size. There's guys right now in his weight class that I don't know. That's the thing. You want to match him with Luke Campbell and stuff like that. Put him in with Devin Haney, Teofimo, Crawford fighting any and all challengers. You want to match him with the consensus number 1A, 1B guy for Crawford, but then Lomachenko, you're not even putting him in there with a guy like Teofimo that we begging for you to stop it. Other thing, Lomachenko, this is his first division where he's had more than one belt. So now you get to lightweight and the champions ain't really popping except for Mikey Garcia, and that fight's not being made. Now all of a sudden he wants to stick around and unify. There were better fights at 130, and now he's saying he can still make 130. All right, bounce back from 130. Go do. Mikey Garcia did it. Mikey Garcia fought at 135 and 140, and then went back to 35 for Robert Easter, and then jumped from 35 to 47. So let's see if Lomachenko jumped down, fight Miguel Berchelt, and then jump back up to 35. There's been plenty of Floyd does it. Floyd fought motherfuckers. He was really a 47-pounder at the time. Jumped up for 54 for De La Hoya, and then he moved his ass back down, fought Ricky Hatton, you know, jumped up for Cotto, a legend, Hall of Famer, 54. All right, I'm back down. Jumped up for Canelo at a catchweight at 152. Then he jumped back down. Tevin Farmer jumped up too. He jumped up and fought Ivan Redkach before he was in the division. Then went right back down. Lomachenko don't have to do none of this. You're not fooling nobody. You know? So you can't make the, you know, you're... Just stop it, bro. There's no way old media can win. I promise you that. Because there's no way they're bringing the heat that I'm bringing. Listen, I've said this before, but obviously the message wasn't out. If you tell me that you are unfollowing me, I will make sure you unfollow me for good. Because we're blocking you. Because that's some corny shit. That's elote. Y'all are some fucking elote. That shit is corny. I don't care. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. I am not a rapist. I don't care. You can leave. There's the door. But if you tell me you're leaving, instead of leaving like a real man would do, and just be like, oh, what the fuck is this? I'm out. And just peace. You know, I'm not your parents. You got to tell me when you leaving or unsubscribing. So if you do that cornball shit, then you're out of here. And I'll make sure you leave for good. You're putting pressure on them ego. Man, I'm destroying all that bullshit. I told you what this year is going to be. This is rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. This is the victory lap. I've worked too hard. We only getting bigger. Yeah, man. They on that elote shit. Corny. Well, I'm unfollowing you. All right. Bet. We'll make sure you unfollow for good. I don't care. You don't have to tell me. And I'm not even trying to see. And then when I say this stuff so callously, then I'm the bad guy. And oh, ego's cocky. No, it's not about cocky, but I'm about to hit 200K this year. I'm about to hit 200,000. You think I'm just like, okay, I have 199,975. Oh, I lost a subscriber. Now it's 199,974. What am I going to do? Like, it's beyond that, bro. It's beyond that. I don't even look at my sub count. I don't even look at my sub count half the time. I'm just working. I'm just putting in work. Y'all know I'm putting in that man's work. I don't care. I don't even look at subs half the time. I don't care about none of that. I'm destroying. I'm going to hit 200K. Oh, now I got 199,999. I lost a sub. I don't care. I want to lose subs. I want to lose, like, you know how snakes shed skin? That old media is snake skin, the shedded part, the one they come up out of. So I don't care. Leave. Don't tell me about it. Just peace. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. LOL. Funny thing is, Ego making these quote unquote unsubscribers make their channels into hate vlogs about Ego. That's hella funny. Man, these dudes be lying. I'm unsubscribed. And then they get blocked and be petitioning and telling they mama and everybody, bro. Leave. That's cool. Out with the old, in with the new. Shout out to Heartless Production. People too emotional. Yeah, this ain't the channel for you. Hey, real brother's a fool. He said, I remember when dude straight cried. Oh, well, he was crying in there. I'm the new Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson of this live stream. He was crying in there. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. I'm just ferocious. I want his heart. I want to eat his kid. Praise be Allah. Like, I want his heart. Eagles Army, man, they be on some sucker shit. Goof troop. Bunch of goofies. We not worried about that. Anyway, Arum's in the wrong to me. Like, you making wild accusations, dirtying up someone's name. And I already exposed it. See, and this is the thing. Like, let me know if I'm lying. Before yesterday night, I guess that's the best way I could put it right now. Have you heard that there were negotiations between Errol Spence and Sean Porter prior to Crawford versus Khan happening last night? Yes or no? If you've heard that could be next on the plate, say yes. If you haven't heard it, say no. Let's just do a vote. If you heard that Sean Porter and Errol Spence may fight in a unification next, if you heard these rumblings or rumor, say yes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is what I'm talking about. So, these are random people voting. This wasn't a hot seat or you lose. And they're all saying they had heard the rumblings that Spence might fight against Sean Porter next. So, everything Bob Arum is doing is capping because listen, in business, ain't nobody waiting around for the next man's business unless you're a mandatory or some shit like that. So, yeah, if you're the mandatory or, like, you got word from your promoter that this guy's next, you might go to their fight and stuff. But the game don't wait. PBC ain't just going to, or any business, they're not going to sit and wait for, like, the next person's next move. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when Wilder found out he wasn't fighting Tyson Fury, he didn't wait for Tom Schwartz to be announced. They started working on the Dominic Breazeale shit. Like, all right, Fury backed out, whatever. And they start working. Ain't nobody just going to sit up here and wait. So we didn't even know the outcome of Crawford. We as like the boxing public, we didn't even know the outcome of the fight. But we had already previously heard that before Crawford Khan, that Spence was going to unify with Sean Porter, and they were in negotiations. In fact, Kenny Porter is doing interviews right now, and Kenny Porter is saying, oh, Errol Spence got to be next. We want Errol. We told people, the business is lined up, and it makes sense. It's unification. He's doing interviews, being asked by reporters about the Spence fight. And they're like, yeah, we said yes to Errol, He's doing all these interviews. So it's common knowledge. This is how Bob Arum is trying to bamboozle people. It's common knowledge what the directive is. It's common knowledge what the game plan is. So Bob Arum's trying to come from behind all of that and make people feel that somehow, some way, if he doesn't get his way, it's racism, not working with the white promoter, or it's because Errol Spence and he might want it, but Al Haymon is scared. No. This is what old media does when they're losing power. And, in the business world, some of the rich white people, some of them, when they lose power, they have temper tantrums like Donald Trump. They have temper tantrums because they're not used to not getting their way. You get what I'm saying? They're used to pulling the strings and being the man, being in charge, being money, having money and stuff like that. So when they're no longer in control, i.e. Donald Trump, you see him lash out and like anyone that said, no matter if it's true or not, anyone that goes against Trump says it's fake news. Anybody, if it's like the Daily Show, Jon Stewart, anybody says something about Trump, he says it's fake news because he don't like what they're saying. You know, so some people do that. Like they have like temper tantrum because it's not going their way. I already explained this months ago before Crawford Khan. I did a video about Spence and Crawford, and I told you PBC. I like Crawford. I like Spence. They are both phenomenal. I told you 1A and 1B. If it was up to them, they would fight each other in my view. But the powers that be, the business, the logistics, ESPN versus Fox, Showtime, there's more into it. You know, there's more into it than is being led. Bob Arum is leading people to believe, right? And somebody on Twitter said this. He said, yeah, we heard about Porter versus Spence unification, but why don't you just ditch that and make Spence versus Crawford? New media has put old media in the vice grip. Their heads will explode because all we do is just keep cranking it, keep turning it, keep cranking it. Their heads are about to explode because that sounds pretty utterly ridiculous. So you're in negotiations before Crawford Khan for a valid unification with a real champion. Sean Porter didn't get gifted his journey. He didn't get gifted a belt. We know, like Rocky Fielding, you know, no disrespect to him like that, but we knew he wasn't no real qualified champion. He got knocked out by Caleb Smith and had some secondary belt. Sean Porter is not like that. Sean Porter has a credible welterweight resume, a credible amateur pedigree, and he has a real, not interim or silver or Shawn Michaels intercontinental belt. He has the real WBC belt, right? So that being said, there is nothing you can do to convince me that you should abandon negotiations that I'm assuming are easier to make and it's a unification to go do Crawford Spence. And then you have to worry about Bob Arum, who's been lashing out. You got to worry about what is ESPN, what is their part, blah, blah, blah. And this is another reason how I know it's more than what Bob Arum is saying. Because Bob Arum would never send Terrence Crawford to Showtime or Fox pay-per-view just to get the fight. So it's not even about Crawford. It's about him. It's about Crawford and him, and that's his product. Because, why doesn't he send, like, just get a cut from Crawford, you know, just get a cut for being his promoter and send Crawford over there to Fox. Errol Spence versus Crawford on Fox pay-per-view, and just get a cut of it, you know, an advisor cut or a promoter cut. He's not going to do that. He's going to want it on ESPN. He want to bring the attraction to his shit. And that's why I say it's like a temper tantrum. He can't get his way. He doesn't have the pull right there in the welterweight division or in boxing anymore like he maybe once had. So that's what happens. People start losing grip on power, and then they don't know how to act. But it just give me. I'm putting you in the hot seat. Give me one valid reason why you should stop negotiations for a fight that's easier to make, that's been being negotiated, to ditch Sean Porter unification, to make Crawford versus Spence, which is a good fight, an awesome fight, but it also has more baggage with it in terms of co-promotion, ESPN, Showtime, Fox, who's going to get a fight of that magnitude, these different logistics. Who's going to promote, you know, all the shit. You know, it's not anything. Tell me one valid reason aside from fans want to see it. Exactly. Just like DAZN. Why didn't they send Joshua? Why did Joshua was with Showtime? He could have fought Wilder on Showtime pay-per-view. But then Eddie linked up with DAZN. It's every man for himself. I don't know if you guys see this or not. Eddie Hearn attempted to make the in-house fight Gerald Big Baby Miller, who's with DAZN, and Eddie Hearn, his fighter, who, you know, has fought on DAZN, doesn't have a concrete pact in Anthony Joshua. So why didn't Anthony Joshua fight Tyson Fury? You know, an ESPN fighter. Why didn't he fight Wilder, a Showtime Fox fighter? The question is easy. The bottom line is everybody's out for their own business. It's every man or woman for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. I'm not here to beat around the bush. DAZN tried to make Joshua Miller. The only reason it's not happening because Miller fucked up, failed a drug test. But that was an in-house fight, and that's what they chose to make. As opposed to a better fight, which would have been Joshua versus Tyson Fury on another network or co-network deal, or Wilder versus Joshua, which would have been the same thing. You have to figure out networks and all that. So bottom line is everybody would most likely look after their business and go the path of least resistance negotiation wise, and facilitate the fight that's easier to make, especially when they have the resources to just pull the trigger on it all the way just with the two teams. Bob Arum is no different. And on top of that, Bob Arum had all these fighters at one point and never made certain fights. Like Mike Alvarado didn't get Pacquiao. He beat Brandon Rios, and they gave Brandon Rios the Pacquiao fight. Brandon Rios was coming off a loss. Why did he get the fight? Pacquiao, he could have fought all these. When Danny Garcia was undefeated, Pacquiao could have fought him. Bob Arum never made that. Did you ever see him push this hard like he's doing for Spence and Crawford? Did you see him push that hard to make Danny Garcia versus Pacquiao, which was buzzed about, we all wanted to see? Did you see him push this hard to make Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman? Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that he just wants so badly nothing more to make Spence Crawford. You guys are fucking fools. A lot of you guys that play dumb are fools. You're fools because you know the deal. You know this shit don't make sense if you add it up in your head, and you still try to play these little bullshit games and, oh, he's ducking. Oh, stop it. There was no why didn't Pacquiao fight Errol Spence when he was with Top Rank? Or Keith Thurman or Kell Brook, you know, who was an Eddie Hearn fighter. When Kell Brook was undefeated and Pacquiao was with Top Rank, why didn't they fight? Now all of a sudden you just love working with. Stop it. It's because you don't have anyone for Crawford. You don't have the stable to keep. Who name 3 people? He's too good. Name 3 people he could fight that are big fights. Tim Bradley retired. Pacquiao left. Jesse Vargas left. Brandon Rios left. Juan Manuel Marquez is retired. Ruslan Provodnikov retired. Who's Crawford going to fight? The dude from Spain just got knocked out by a guy that Lamont Peterson beat, and they're about to have a rematch. Irajaga or Ibajaga or whatever his name is from Spain. He got knocked out in Spain. That was Crawford's mandatory. Or a high-ranking person with the WBO. Mean Machine hasn't really looked good in his last couple. Yeah, Kerman Lajaraga. Mean Machine hasn't really looked good. He doesn't look like he's fucking with Crawford. Amir Khan just quit. This is the real reason for the wrath. You're losing the power. You have to deliver ESPN big fights, and you don't really have. What is ESPN gonna? You got Tyson Fury fighting. Eddie Hearn got a better fight, a heavyweight fight than Eddie Hearn. Both of his fights are better than Top Rank's fight. If Anthony Joshua fights Michael Hunter and Dillian White fights against he is fighting against Oscar Rivas. To me, those are both better fights. And Showtime has Wilder versus Brazil. All those fights are better than Tyson Fury versus an unknown guy in Vegas. Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz. You know, Crawford could fight Kell Brook. You know, it's not a horrible matchup. You know, there's some level of intrigue, but that helps PBC because Errol Spence already ran through Kell Brook and busted up his eye. So what can Spence do? The only thing what could Crawford do? The only thing he can do is do the same thing. You know, if anything, that makes it harder because people are going to pit the performances. So if Crawford goes the decision with Kell Brook, who didn't look good in his last fight, then people are like, oh, Errol Spence actually knocked him out. Chess moves, people. I told you this. These are chess moves. I've been called all of this. It's not a surprise to me. Okay. And this is why Arum's pissed, because even if he works with a Haymon fighter, he has to use who Haymon gives him. Like Crawford versus Felix Diaz, Crawford versus John Molina, Crawford versus Luis Collazo. You know, he has to use like I'm not trying to be rude, but like the scraps, like whoever. Yeah, we'll let you. Same thing with DAZN. DAZN didn't get none of the marquee names that were with PBC. Like, name a fighter that Jacobs is probably the biggest one, but he had been gone. So name a fighter that's with Al Haymon that went to DAZN that's bigger than Charlo and Broner, the Charlo brothers and Broner. So like, you know, and Errol Spence. Name like 4 fighters that are Al Haymon advised that went over and are bigger than those guys. DAZN got Brandon Rios and Jesse Vargas. You know, Rios was coming off a knockout loss to Danny Garcia. Jesse Vargas was coming off a draw to Adrian Broner. So that's what I'm saying. Al Haymon's playing chess because he's giving people. He's like, oh, I got so many fighters. You could use these. You know, these guys. They might be on the backside of their careers. They might have a couple recent losses. They might be coming off a loss. But yeah, they could go over to you. You know, take care of them for me. But he ain't giving up his good shit. Errol Spence ain't going over there. Wilder ain't going over there. Or at least so far. Charlo's ain't going over there. You see? Jared Hurd ain't going over there. Mikey didn't go over there so far. And even if he goes over there now, he's just coming off a bad loss. Al Haymon playing chess. Y'all act like y'all can't see it, but it is what it is. Same thing with Top Rank. Yeah, he worked with Haymon, but Haymon's giving him John Molina Jr. after Broner beat him. So, like, people didn't even give Crawford the credit. Because I went to that fight. And guess what? That happened on the same night as Julian J. Rock Williams and Jamal Charlo. And Abner Mata's Jesus Cuellar was on the same night. And Anthony Joshua fought Eric Molina in the UK. So, the John Molina Jr., people were even asking me, why are you covering the Crawford fight? That's what they said. They said, you're in Cali. Why didn't you go to the Charlo fight? Why don't you go to the Abner fight? And that's what people said to me at the time. See, I have a good memory. That all happened. It was December 10th. Don't ask how I know. I'm a boxing encyclopedia. Go look it up. December 10th, 2016, I believe. Crawford fought John Molina Jr. in Omaha. Julian J. Rock Williams got knocked out by Jamal Charlo on the same card as Jesus Cuellar versus Abner Matas. And that same day, Luis Ortiz, Dillian White. So Dillian White fought Derek Chisora the first time, and AJ was the main event versus Eric Molina. I have cards in my head, bro. I told you I'm something. Oh my gosh, I told you I'm not normal, man. I'm like Rain Man when it comes to this shit. I just be remembering shit. Somebody look it up. December 10th. All those fights happened. 2016. Look, I ain't got no computers. I got a computer in here. This is where the computer is. I told you, I'm not like these other dudes. My memory is crazy. Memory like an elephant. That's why they can't fuck what I'm doing over here, because people be getting the forgetting shit. And I don't forget the shit they be forgetting. You know? I know more than you ever forgot. Let's get it. So anyway, that's what the real deal is. Bob Arum's having a hissy fit or whatever, because he can't have his way, and because he knows he has to build these guys. And like I said, where's the same energy for Lomachenko to fight Mikey Garcia? If you like working with Al Haymon, that's a credible fight that Lomachenko was once beaten. Mikey was undefeated, and they never. Mikey is. I have actual recorded documentation. Mikey said he never got an offer from Top Rank. He also said Top Rank don't want me to fight Lomachenko. His brother said, oh yeah, I've talked to people at Top Rank, and they said no, they're not gonna make that fight. So this is all a game. This is all what they want you to see. Because the truth of the matter is, fuck Spence and Crawford. That's a good fight, but that Crawford. Well, and see, this makes me question, why is the black fighter constantly put through the ringer like this. You know, Crawford has 3. I understand the black fighter seeking out this challenge, but why is Arum so willing to put the black fighter with only 3 fights in with the best guy over there on PBC, but then Manny Pacquiao is a fucking Hall of Famer, and you never put him in with the best guy in your own unit, your own label in Terrence Crawford? Somebody got to answer this. Listen to what I just said, people. Terrence Crawford just moved up to welterweight. He had 2.5 fights because Amir Khan quit. So we didn't even get a full fucking fight. So he's had 2.5 fights, done his thing, and they already want to put him with Spence. So they say. But Pacquiao is a Hall of Famer. We already knew legendary shit, beating Cotto, you know, wins over Juan Manuel Marquez and Marco Antonio Barrera, right? We had all of this knowledge, all this history, knocking out Ricky Hatton, Cotto, Margarito, and you wouldn't make an in-house fight between Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford. To this day, we have not seen that. So you had the in-house fight that you could have got with the parties and pulled the trigger on. Somehow that never happened, but you're claiming and screaming on Al Haymon. That, no. Ooh, my shooter's putting in work. No soliciting. So that's what I'm saying. You have to understand. You have to explain that. Why is the black fighter, Terrence Crawford, you're so eager to put him in with literally the best guy at welterweight that we believe that can match him in Errol Spence Jr., but Pacquiao's sitting up here, a Hall of Famer, and you had him, and you wouldn't even put him with the best guy in your stable that people wanted to see him fight. Plus, Pacquiao at the time had been fighting at 147, and Crawford was at 140. Crawford was at 140, so, you know, if they fought at a catchweight or 147, then Crawford would be the one at a deficit because he hadn't yet moved up. So why is it that Pacquiao got special treatment? Why is that Lomachenko getting special treatment? Somebody got to make this make sense. You know, you didn't make Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia nor have the same energy. You had Pacquiao at the time, and then you didn't make no fights with Al Haymon and Pacquiao. None. We had to suffer through Jesse Vargas and Chris Algieri and Brandon Rios coming off of a loss to Mike Alvarado. And then now all of a sudden you want to work with Al Haymon so desperately. Stop. DBN got an interview with Arum. He's like, oh, I don't ever want to work with Arum. Or he said something like that. Now all of a sudden you want to work. Stop it. Stop it. New media's here. No one believes it. I told you my memory is too good. That's how I know you ain't going to bamboozle me. And once again, they can get mad and grit their teeth and get mad that I'm saying it. But but they can't deny it. New media. Shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation, DBN, New Media. Why do y'all think y'all can fuck with us? Why y'all think y'all can fuck with New Media? That's all I want to know. Like, come on, please tell me. We been on y'all helmet, man. Pause. Dante, at literally to the man's face, he said, don't you think it would be beneficial to work with PBC? This was 3 years ago because he didn't want to give PBC a shot. I'm going to play it again.
Eventually, it would be beneficial for you guys to collaborate and work together. Will that ever happen? No.
That motherfucker said no. All right, no. Are we gonna see Spence versus Crawford? No. Yeah. All right. Yeah. New media. Yeah. So, all that, keep that same energy. No. Yeah. Al Haymon don't want to work with White Pro. No. Spence versus Crawford happening next. No. Yeah. Keep that same energy. That's what it got to be. Are we going to see unification? No. All right. No, motherfucker. You said what it is. Cool. Now you want to play the victim. See, this is what people do. This is why I don't trust a lot of y'all people. I don't trust a lot of y'all because people always say, act like certain people, act crazy, act, belligerent, or and then when you finally had enough, like, I'm not talking, this is not a threat, I'm not saying this to Arum, I'm just talking about in real life circumstances. Like, you at a bar or something like that, and people will try you and test you, and you're like, hey man, leave me alone, hey, don't touch me, da-da-da. And then when it starts to get to that point where people break and snap, like, yo, I told you not to fucking touch me, and then you about to go upside their head, and then they're like, hey, I'm calling the cops, I'm gonna sue you, and they got rape whistles and shit and blowing. Nah. You have openly dissed Al Haymon, and you were asked direct questions. Hey, don't you think it would be beneficial to work with Al Haymon? No. And now you want people to feel sorry for you. This is what I always see, these like little world star videos, someone acting crazy on the subway or trains and shit. And then when it flips on them, then all of a sudden they play victim. Can't be no peace till new media get a piece too. Oh my gosh. I said that and Kane said, he said, niggas love to scream peace after they start some shit. Hey, here's the words that robbed me. I murdered you, did not run a train on my deep. Don't fuck with me. Yeah, man, everyone start whistleblowing after you started something. You created this trend. Bob is the king of in-house fights, if we're really being honest. But guess what? When it don't suit his agenda, the in-house fight don't happen. Crawford versus Pacquiao. Pacquiao fought Brandon Rios coming off a loss instead of Mike Alvarado, who would have probably been more of a boxing style that could have gave Pacquiao coming off a knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez possibly more problems than Brandon Rios, who's like more of just a slugger. So, keep that same energy. You want fans to be like mad and boycott, but you created this environment. Bob Arum created this environment. He created this environment over here. He said, should you work with PBC? No. All right. And then now everyone's supposed to feel sorry for Crawford. And see, this is the other thing. If we really being, hold on, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Hold on, I gotta pee. Oh, we in rare form. We in rare form tonight. Let's get it. So yeah, Bob helped create this environment. And now he's trying to play the victim. Like, oh yeah, they don't want to work with me because I'm a white promoter. What about all the times you could have worked with Al Haymon on Pacquiao fights? What about the in-house fights that you never made? Like, Better Biev versus Vodstick is a good fight. So you're quick to blame Al Haymon for all that's wrong in boxing. Why can't we get that next? That's an awesome fight. Two champions that are both with Top Rank. Beterbiev and Vodstick. Instead, Vodstick's fighting Mutombo, Gumbo, or whatever the dude's name is. Why can't we get Teofimo versus Lomachenko? Because you have your plan. So it's no different for PBC or DAZN. Everybody got their plan. That's what I said. Kill or be killed. Survival of the fittest. You know. Sink or swim. And make sure you guys smash the like button. People always like Pac said, niggas love to scream peace after they start some shit. Everybody creates an environment or a situation or Cold War or whatever, and then once it gets too real, then all of a sudden they want to like, oh, he won't work with me. And here's the other thing. I'm going to add on to this. Last thing I really even have to say about this is if you really truly cared about Crawford, you know, sowing his royal oats and proving his legacy, send him over to PBC with one without attaching ESPN. Then it's probably easier to make. But he's not going to do that. Second thing, somebody, no, I've posed this for months now. Why is it Errol Spence or nothing? PBC still has all of the best welterweights outside of Crawford. All the best guys in or around 140, 147, 154. So why is it, somebody please answer this for me, and I might put you in the hot seat. Why is it Crawford, Spence, or bust? Nothing else matters. Why is it that much tunnel vision when just building a relationship and working with Al Haymon with one of his guys will be exponentially better than the guys that Top Rank that I could foresee in-house Terrence Crawford possibly facing? See, this is what I'm saying. You sometimes you have some rich white people who, like Donald Trump, they get in a situation, and then when they don't have all the complete control, they don't know how to take it. They don't know how to not be, you know, kind of like a control freak. They don't know how to maneuver, and it's like my way or the highway type shit. But that's what happens when you're at somebody else's mercy. It's his stable. Yeah, you play this heroic bullshit. Oh, what's best for boxing? We know there's a lot of fights that are best for boxing that aren't happening. And it's not Al Haymon holding all of these up, because some of them aren't even Al Haymon fighters. Like Vodstick versus Beterbiev. You know, Beterbiev versus Kovalev. That's a whole Top Rank ESPN situation and main events. Right? So it's like my way or nothing, but it doesn't even have to be all that. Danny Garcia, the way he looked yesterday versus Granados versus Crawford, I would love to see Crawford versus that. So somebody explain why it's Errol Spence versus Crawford and nothing else matters. There's no way you could convince me that Crawford versus Mean Machine is a bigger and better fight, especially in New York. You know, Danny Garcia from Philly. Crawford's fought in New York a few times, or Vegas. Danny Garcia versus Crawford versus Crawford anywhere versus Mean Machine. So once again, why is it only Errol Spence? That's how I know it's a bluff, because it shouldn't be. You should be trying to make the, okay, here's the thing. In my view, you know, on some new media shit, smash the like button. We kill it. I know I'm destroying old media. Listen. I'm all for the best versus the best. But you can't control another person's stable. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Spence versus Porter, it could very well be done right now, and they're like on principle. And then they have little small minute details like building the undercard and, you know, put your deposit in, or little like little idiosyncrasies or whatever, where that's preventing them from actually announcing it. So that's one big thing that people forget. For example, I'm not going to tell you who, and I'm not going to tell you what. I have sources in this boxing game. I've known about a couple of fights, a good amount of fights, before they were publicly released, because I know the fighters. I have a relationship with the fighters. The only reason I didn't get on my channel and blabbermouth is because if someone tells me not to say anything, that's who I am as a person. I'm not going to blabbermouth it and then people start trying to trace it back and figure out who leaked the information. Just like when you go to Los Angeles Times, you go to Ring TV or whoever, and it says sources say, and it says a party not at liberty to discuss the matter said Golovkin's going to fight Steve Rolls. That's because it's somebody who has the information, who's on the inside, but it's like an informant. They don't want, if you're an informant working with the police, like Tekashi or some shit, you don't want the whole world to know you're working with the police, but you feeding them off little information. That's kind of what it's like. So the bottom line is, a lot of this shit be done behind closed doors, and I've been privy to some of this information before it even comes out to the public. Before you think they have graphics and flyers and banners and all that shit done in one day? One day, like Povetkin and Joshua, and then there's a press conference. They got to email media. They got to do flyers and big backdrops and banners and shit. That don't happen. And fly Povetkin from Russia all the way to, America, New York, and fly AJ to New York. That's planning. That takes time. That's not just an overnight thing, right? So again, we don't know if Porter versus Spence is done right now. It could very well be done. In fact, just so you know, Errol Spence kind of spilled the beans that it's done last night on Twitter. But once again, old media is stupid as fuck. So they just want to go off of emotions and feelings and bullshit like that. Somebody said, Spence, time to unify, brother. Look. Spence, it's time to unify, brother. Spence says, I am my next fight, LOL. So Bob Arum can try, but it's already done. It's done. Nobody believes that Al Haymon got in the way of the fight. He was just going about his business, making a fight. Ain't nobody waiting for a Crawford Khan outcome to determine their next move. Why would they do that? They have a business to run. They have a certain amount of fights and a responsibility to these networks to produce a certain amount of content and events, formulate the date, get all the back behind the scenes shit, prepare the undercard. Ain't nobody just going to sit and wait for Crawford Khan to see how that plays out. Like Crawford has one belt, just like Errol Spence has one belt, just like Sean Porter has one belt. Ain't nobody, it'd be one thing maybe if Crawford was like Anthony Joshua in this division and he had all the belts, because then likely that would be your next target as a champion to want to unify. But it's not like that. There's no welterweight with more than one belt right now. Keith Thurman was the one who had two, and he took so long getting in bumper car accidents and shit, on Mr. Glass, that he lost one of his belts. Pacquiao got one fake ass belt. Keith Thurman got a belt. Sean Porter got a belt. Spence got one belt. Crawford got one belt. So the belts are split up. Period. So again, ain't nobody just gonna wait for Crawford Khan to see the outcome and then do whatever. That don't make sense. And I told you guys this from the jump, and that's why I don't understand. Like, I don't know how many times I have to keep getting things right for people to really just show respect to new media. We run this game. I'm not concerned with Cotto or Spence. I really could care less. I don't care too much about fantasy stuff, because there's no right or wrong. Like, see, this, for me, I'm a true competitor. I'm a competitive person. And if there's no immediate result, I don't like games where nobody can win. You know what I'm saying? I play for keeps. I don't like, that's why I don't like doing fantasy shit too much, because it's like, who would win, Tommy Hearns or Mayweather? There's no real way to prove what Paul Williams versus Mayweather. Paul Williams is confined to a chair. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a realist. So I prefer to talk about shit. Like the shit we talking about, like, is Dillian White going to fight Luis Ortiz next? We just found out that I was right on that. Because he's not. He's fighting Oscar Rivas. When I say, oh, I don't see Anthony Joshua fighting Wilder next, we seen that I was right with that. Oh, I don't see him fighting Luis Ortiz. And then they try to schedule Gerald Miller. We seen that I was accurate. So that's how I work. I want an end result to this shit. I'm not just out here wasting my breath. Shout out to Cotto, Wepa, but I don't care about Cotto and Spence. I'm here to talk this stuff. But anyway, it's every man for himself. Whether you see, and I hate this. I hate the old media motherfuckers. I'm telling you, they're shapeshifters. So what they'll try to do is, you don't care. They'll try to make it like I don't care about the best versus the best, even though every goddamn time there is a chance to see the best versus the best, if it affects one of your fighters that you really like and fuck with, and they're in a position where they could lose that fight, you never want to see it. But then they'll try, old media try to flip it like I don't want to see the best versus the best. You ain't never seen me say that Spence shouldn't fight Keith Thurman or any top level person. You never see me, but you got to understand there's business behind it and what's happening. And I'm not so much worried about one fight not happening when there's other good fights. If Spence was fighting like Bumpy Johnson and people that didn't make sense, and Crawford was fighting people that didn't make sense, then that'd be one thing. But PBC has a whole slew of people that he could fight that still are intriguing fights to me, despite what I feel about the Crawford Khan. I told you guys this. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying the same thing. Sean Porter has a better resume at welterweight than Terrence Crawford. I'm not saying Crawford is better or less better than Sean Porter, vice versa. I'm saying since Crawford is new to the division and he has fought less times, by default, Sean Porter, having a good resume in addition to just fighting a bunch of times, has a better resume. So you can't, the old media is trapped, like I've told you. You can't shit on Errol Spence, Sean Porter, easy to make unification when Sean Porter has been fighting at welterweight with better names than Terrence Crawford, and Top Rank has been able to produce for Terrence Crawford at welterweight. And because we know Terrence Crawford is that boy, we know Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. We know he has skill, but you're shitting on Sean Porter fight because you personally want to see it doesn't work like that. Because once again, if we're talking about, okay, why is Lomachenko saying that Teofimo needs to get a belt first? Because he feels he hasn't fought anyone and you're not worthy to step in the ring with me, right? And old media will vouch for shit like that. Even though Lomachenko, there's less appealing options for him, belt or not belt, that'll probably get made before the Teofimo fight, right? However, when it comes to Sean Porter and Crawford, because you like Crawford or the Crawford-Spence matchup, you can't undermine Sean Porter, who's done more in that said division. You can't, they're both unifications. Sean Porter has a better resume at welterweight than Crawford. Although I personally, from what I've seen, think Crawford has the higher skill set. I told you, Spence and Crawford are 1A and 1B. That is the ultimate best fight at the division from what I can see. But based on what's been proven factually on paper, Sean Porter has fought the better names at welterweight and he's a champion. So despite what you feel or what you want to see or what I feel, what we've seen more of Sean Porter against Granados, against Danny Garcia, against Keith Thurman, against Kell Brook, against Paulie Malignaggi, against Andre Berto, against Eric Bonet. We've seen all of this from Sean Porter against your Danish Yugas. And we've seen Crawford 2.5 times because the Khan shit was some bullshit because he bowed out. So there's nothing that old media can do to shit on Spence unifying in an easier fight to make that's all in-house and shit on that one to advocate for Crawford, who fought Jeff Horn, which a lot of y'all thought he wasn't the man to beat. And a lot of y'all, including me, thought Jeff Horn lost to Pacquiao. Let's keep that real. I'm not undermining Crawford. I'm not saying he sucks or whatever. Crawford tore him up versus Pacquiao had a hard time. But I thought Pacquiao beat Jeff Horn. And a lot of y'all believe me. And then Jose Benavidez, after the fight, y'all said, oh, he got shot in the leg and all this bullshit. I gave Crawford credit for the win. Taller guy, confident guy. He beat him. And then he fought Amir Khan, who had been stopped. He looked sharp. He looked good, did his thing. But because of that, there's no way you can shit on the Sean Porter fight, because Sean Porter stopped Berto. He beat Broner for 11 rounds. He got knocked down in the 12th round. You know, he beat Danny Garcia, who just looked great yesterday, versus Granados. He beat him. He arguably beat Keith Thurman, but they gave Keith Thurman the win, right? He destroyed Paulie Malignaggi. What are we talking about? I've told you the same thing over and over. Now, again, that doesn't have anything to do with my estimations of who I think is more skilled and all that. That's a fact. Sean Porter has done more because he's been fighting there more. And he fought the Bertos and stopped him, beat Granados with one hand. There's nothing old media could do to try to make that make sense. How you could shit on Errol Spence versus Porter. Oh, I'm not paying for that. I don't want to see it. But you're advocating for something else just because you want to see it. Porter's resume is solid, ego not capping. Exactly. That's what bro, he fought Kell Brook when Kell Brook was undefeated. He fought Kell Brook when he was undefeated. He fought undefeated Keith Thurman, who's still undefeated. He fought Danny Garcia when he had one loss to Keith Thurman in an eliminator for a belt, so stakes were high. Then he fought Paulie and destroyed him. You know, he fought Berto, two-time former champion, and he stopped him. Mayweather didn't stop Berto. Sean Porter stopped him. You know, he fought Granados. He fought Eric Bonet. You know, he fought these different people. He sparred with Pacquiao. He has amateur experience. Some of y'all don't know Sean Porter beat Usyk in the amateurs. And Demetrius Andrade in the amateurs. Now, I'm not building Sean Porter up. I'm telling you what the fuck the facts are. These are all truthful things. Sean Porter beat Demetrius Andrade and Usyk in the amateurs. And Edwin Rodriguez, who later fought at, like, I don't know where he's at now, cruiserweight, but he fought Andre Ward, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and he beat Devin Alexander. Give some claps to Mr. Finesse. He beat Devin Alexander when he was a champion, knocked him down maybe twice. I don't remember. I know he knocked him down. That's not how that works. Yeah. Porter sparred in more than one camp, if I'm not mistaken, with Pacquiao. So that's a good fight, and it's a unification. And like I said, and Sean Porter sparred with everybody, though. Jesse Vargas, Devin Haney, all that. He fought you guys who's good. That's what I'm saying. He got a solid resume. And I love Terrence Crawford, but the fact is he only has 2.5 fights at welterweight. That's just the truth. And I don't know. We have to. It's hard telling because we haven't seen. Like, I think Crawford versus Danny Garcia is a good fight. Sean Porter already got past Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia has one win over Porter. Danny Garcia beat Crawford in the amateurs, and Crawford beat Danny Garcia in the amateurs. So that's a good fight. Styles make fights. So I would love to see Crawford versus Garcia. Porter does got a chin because he took some shit from Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman hit him so hard, Porter was like, no, like that, and kept coming. So, yeah, he beat Broner. That's what I'm saying. So there's no way you can shit on that unification to advocate for Crawford because he's skilled when he, at that division, he's less proven. And I know this sounds like a tough pill to swallow, but he's less proven because he was in other divisions. It's a reality. How are you more proven beating Amir Khan's ass, Jose Benavidez, and Jeff Horn? A lot of people didn't. A lot of y'all. I gave him mad props for all those wins, but I'm just talking about boxing fans. A lot of y'all said Jeff Horn wasn't shit. See, This is what's wrong with boxing, because these shapeshifters, when they want to badmouth Crawford, like put Crawford, this is the racism. I'm telling y'all. Put Crawford in there with Pacquiao. They say, oh, look at his resume. He ain't fought nobody. That I never said that. That's what they said. Because the threat the Crawford presents to Pacquiao was alive. So they shitted on his resume. Oh, he beat Jeff Horn. Who cares? Oh, he beat Jose Benavidez. He had one leg. You see? This is what they do. Oh, we knew he was going to beat Amir Khan. Because they don't like Crawford matched up with a non-black fighter like Pacquiao. So then they say all this stuff about his resume. But then when you want to see him fight Errol Spence, two black guys, and you don't care now. You just want to see a good fight. You know, just how people said Mayweather is a boring fighter and a runner, and they said Edeslandi Lara is a boring fighter and a runner, but y'all want to see them fight each other. You want to see, they said, oh, Mayweather should fight Demetrius Andrade. Mayweather should fight Edeslandi Lara, because you didn't know what would happen, and you want to see Floyd fight someone a lot bigger who's slick, right? But you don't want to see Canelo versus Lara. You don't want to see Golovkin versus Lara. You know, you didn't want to see like Lucas Matisse versus Marcos Maidana at the time. But you want to see two runners. You said Lara's a runner, a marathon boy or whatever, and you said Floyd's a runner. You'd rather see that than Lucas Matisse and Marcos Maidana a couple years ago. You see, this is how they push for shit. You know, when you put, if there's a threat for Crawford to beat a non-black fighter, like if you talk about him fighting Pacquiao, oh, look at his resume. But then now he's pitted against Errol Spence. People are acting like his resume is like, you know, through the roof at that division. Exactly, the lesser of the two evils. That's what I'm saying. That's how the racists operate. They don't push for, like, you know, they're not pushing for certain fights they know are going to be hard, that are just bomb-ass good fights. But then they say, like, oh, you blacks are crying. Black people, did you see black people, by and large, say they don't want to see Mayweather versus Pacquiao? They don't want to see Ward versus Kovalev. They don't want to see Joshua versus Wilder. What black person said that? Name a black person with a channel that said, oh, I don't want to see Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. You know, I don't want to see AJ versus Wilder. But then put Wilder, a huge puncher, in there with Tyson Fury in a rematch. And then guess what? You hear all types of bullshit. Oh, he already beat him. He's fighting Tom Schwartz because he know he got robbed. Nah, we know what you're doing. It's very easy to see. See, they don't have a problem with it. The racists don't have a problem with it until the threat is in front of their face, or a threat to someone that they like. You know, you don't care if Charlo fights Jacobs. You get what I'm saying? When they had that little run in, everyone, oh yeah, Charlo Jacobs. Ask Triple G to fight Jacobs in a rematch and then see what the fans say. Ask Triple G to fight Charlo, see what the fans say. These are classic old media tactics. We just exposing them. So you have no problem with Charlo fighting Andrade, but then ask Andrade to get a shot at Triple G. Oh, no. What has he done to deserve Triple G? Oh, okay. That's what we doing. So Andrade could fight anybody black murderers road shit. He could fight Charlo. He could fight Jacobs. Jacobs could fight Charlo. They can round robin and beat each other the fuck up like the Three Stooges, you know. But then you add Canelo's name to it. He just wants money from Canelo. What about Andre versus Triple G? No, we want to see Steve Rolls. All right. So what has Charlo done to get Triple G? What was that black guy done to get Triple G? But Steve Rolls, that black guy who's never fought a 12-rounder, he's done everything needed in his career at age 35, older than Charlo, less decorated than Charlo, less known in America than Charlo where the fight's taking place. He's done everything to get the Triple G fight. These dudes is full of shit. New media run shit. I told you. You know they're lying. That's cap. They capping. You don't want to see Triple G potentially lose to a black fighter. Just say that. Say, ego, I'm scared. I'm afraid, man. Just say that. And I'll be like, oh, shit, you afraid? Yeah, okay. You a little bit, you got the tremors, huh? You a little bit trembling. Just say that. They do all this shit in old media. Oh, what has Charlo done to deserve Triple G? All right. If that's the argument, then what the fuck did Steve Bakery rolls do to get Triple G? If it's about, winning Grammys and all this extra Pulitzer prizes to get a Triple G fight and Charlo is undeserving, then you tell me how the fuck this Steve Rolls guy got the fight? That's what I would love to know. Again, I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the game. That's because the threat is against somebody that they like, that they want to protect. Just like Lomachenko. Oh, no. What has Teofimo done recently? What did Nicholas Walters do recently? He was coming off a draw to Jason Sosa, and he disappeared for a year, couldn't get no fights through Top Rank, and gave up in the fight. What did Jason Sosa do? He got knocked out by Javier Fortuna. Well, actually, he knocked out Javier Fortuna, but he didn't have like an amateur pedigree. You feel me? He had an amateur like 5 or 6 fights, Same thing with Gary Russell. I love Gary Russell. I think he's a great fighter. But at the time he fought Lomachenko, he hadn't really fought nobody. That's what they were saying Gary Russell's the tomato can killer. But that's probably Lomachenko's best win because he actually went on to do good stuff and become a champion after. But at the time Lomachenko fought him, he had no one on his resume. So what's the difference between fighting Teofimo? If you're saying he ain't fought nobody, who the fuck did Gary Russell fight? Name 3 fighters that Gary Russell fought before Lomachenko fight. And if you get it wrong, if you're just guessing, you'll be blocked. Good luck. The Black Channel. Why was the Black? So you guys could cheat. This is an open book test. Name 3 credible names that Gary Russell fought before Lomachenko fight. That made that fight. Because if the argument is Teofimo ain't fought nobody, then who the fuck did Gary Russell fight at that time? See, I don't even need melatonin or nothing. All I had to do is do a live stream, ask a simple boxing question, and then I'm going to be put to sleep because none of y'all will be coming up with any of the answers. So this is like a natural melatonin because I'm going to go to sleep because I know nobody got no answers for me. Man, Russell did his best work after the Lomachenko fight. Facts. He beat Joseph Jojo Diaz. That was impressive. And he knocked out Johnny Gonzalez. And Ruben Guerrero, dude, Oscar Escandón. Once again, these motherfuckers don't want no hot seat because they know they don't know what the fuck they talking about. And they know it's new media. And they know we banging, ganging on them. They know they're lying. Teofimo can't get a fight because he ain't fought nobody. All right. Who did Gary Russell fight? That's right. He can't get a fight because it's too early. He's too green. How did Lomachenko get in his second pro fight? He got a title shot with Orlando Salido. Oh, okay. Oh, he doesn't deserve it. Okay, well, Anthony Corolla. He's the man to beat. Like, come on, bro. We see all this shit. So, like I said, for me, Lomachenko, I know he's good. But I got to see him fight somebody that I think even had like a Mikey Garcia, Gervonta Davis, Miguel Berchelt at 130. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. I got to see that. Otherwise, he going to stay in the same bracket. Lomachenko will, in my mind, will not exceed where I already think he's at. And that's just a good fighter. But to get higher levels, I gotta see him against somebody that I even think has a stylistic edge in any way. There's literally no one like Teofimo actually has some attributes that I would rate over Lomachenko. And Lomachenko actually has attributes that I would rank over Teofimo. That's why it's a good fight. Like size is definitely a Teofimo thing. Youth, he definitely has that because he's only 21, 22, whatever. You know? Stylistically, you know, the way he fights and the way Lomachenko jumps in, it's interesting. But I can't, you know, Muhammad Ali, you would have already been Muhammad Ali by now if you were going to be him. So I don't agree with that comparison, no way. But, you know, just to see what he's really made of, we got to see him in with the fight. Floyd defied the odds. They told him not to fight Diego Corrales. He fought him and, you know, rest in peace to Chico, but he fought him and dominated and dropped. Man, I knew it was a wrap when Floyd hit Diego and he fell on the ground like, you know, he was on the ground like, did a twist. He took a knee and twist. Oh, shit. Y'all got me knocking shit down. My arm's too long. I can't really do this. Too much movement. Tio got a good left hook, good jab. He was cutting off the ring well. You know, we had to see him do it at the elite level. Definitely confident. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ali fought the best. George Foreman. See, and that's another thing. That's why we revere these guys as legends. People say, oh, you're a dead man. You fighting Foreman? You see what he's doing to that heavy bag? Gary Russell didn't fight anyone before Loma. Exactly. He was just a name on the rise. They were pitting him against Broner. Never happened. And Gamboa never happened. You know what I'm saying? Chico looked like he was doing the Carlton. Y'all out of pocket. Yeah, man. Tio can counter punch. That's what I'm saying. Like, some of y'all are easily amused. I'm not easily amused. Like you can't just do the same magic trick over and over and over again. I've been seeing this magic trick since I was in, you know, first grade or before kindergarten. So now as a grown man, you got to switch it up a little bit. Lomachenko, he's good, but I got to see him fight somebody that I think could rival his style. He never even rematched Salido. Like I said, that's why when it comes to like the pound for pound shit, look what Crawford is doing. Crawford made Amir Khan, who's always showed heart, show less heart last night. And it looked like he quit to me. That's pound for pound shit. Lomachenko stopped a guy who been stopped by Derry Matthews. Who is Derry Matthews? Real talk. Who's Derry? Stopping him, that doesn't... see, this is... I tried my best way, you know, to explain boxing, to help, to educate. You guys get... He said Khan definitely quit. Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. That takes skill because Khan had never showed the inhibitions to quit, but he did last night. Crawford outdid him in every category. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's special. Crawford made him, beat him into submission, like where he didn't want no mas. He's like, nah, man. He felt what was coming. Ain't nobody. Jose Pedraza got fucked up in the 11th round. He could have gave up on his stool. He didn't. So all that Nomaschenko and all that shit ain't real. That is not. It's real to y'all. That ain't real to me. Because if you're going to Nomas anybody, how come Pedraza came out for the 12th? And notice, you know, it's about what you do under the bright lights. Crawford dominated Khan from round one. Got a knockdown in the round one. You know, he made fast adjustments. Lomachenko, in fact, didn't really look good in that fight until the 11th round. He didn't really do nothing too special until that 11th round. Had he not had the 11th round, it would have been like, you know, very subpar performance. Khan quit, bro. Because they give you 5 minutes and it was like 42 seconds and he's like, nah, pull me up out of here. It's weird because Khan I feel like he always falls the same way. It's like always like real, like his legs be folded and shit. Like it's weird. It's like he had no control. I mean, I know you get knocked out, but he's always be like folded up and like collapsing like an accordion or some shit. Like leg be all bent and shit. Yeah, he definitely quit, in my opinion. He see the fact that how he's acting about it shows me he quit. Cause like if I know I didn't quit, I'll be like, fuck y'all. Real talk. If y'all was trying to say I quit and I know I didn't, I'll be like, whatever. But Khan keeps telling oh no, I didn't quit. I would never quit. You know. Look. He said, I'm peeing blood. The shot was low. The fight was just getting interesting. Well done, Team Terrence. I never quit. I'd rather get knocked out cold than quit. Good night. Thank you, New York. See, he's like, like trying to, I don't know, man. Look. He putting all that. I never quit in my life. My understanding that was Virgil asked me if the low blow still hurt, and I said yes. My intention was to wait it out and continue as always. Then why they stop the fight, bro? If I'm talking to my trainer and then he was just asking if the shit hurt and they're like, hey, we're all right, we're about to stop it. I'll be like, no, that's not what we said. You know what I'm saying? He didn't petition or nothing. He just walked off. Man, come on, bro. Khan walked off limping and shit. Like, no. Whatever, bro. He hit him in the upper thigh and Khan turned it to Professor X. I told you. I cannot move. Logan! He put that little, Professor X put on that little thing to help him inside people's brain. Khan got hit in the thigh. It was... Magneto! Nah, bro. Bro, at a high level, at like a pay-per-view big fight where you're talking big shit before the fight, how would you let it in like that? He probably thought it was going to get a disqualified. Yeah, exactly. Or no contest. That was a cop-out, bro. Bro, I ain't never seen nobody not continue. Well, okay, name one other fight where a person didn't continue in a pay-per-view fight, an event. That's why it was so anticlimactic. Name a pay-per-view fight, like a high magnitude, Canelo versus Golovkin or some shit, and then the person gave in because they couldn't, because of a thigh punch. Name one other fight in boxing. Max Holloway was getting fucked up by Poirier. Fucked up in them first 2 rounds. And battled back like a savage on UFC 236, I think. He battled back like a savage and actually had Poirier tired and was doing the better work. But it was just like he had got so much punch. Remember, Real Brother? He was the one like, man, this shit getting good. And I went back and watched it. Max Holloway is a thug. Shout out to Hawaii. Because he was getting melted in them first 2 rounds. He was getting hit with hard shit. I know the shit hurt. And his face was fucked up. He got cut with a knee in the 3rd round, something like that. Split his shit. Bleeding everywhere. And he finished the fight. Badu Jack had a cut this goddamn big on his forehead and finished the fight on a pay-per-view card, Broner versus Pacquiao. I was there. I was live in Vegas there. But Khan is the first fighter in the history of the world that got hit in the upper thigh where his nuts are in a holster or some shit and says, I can't continue because this hurts so much, and didn't even take the full 5 minutes. How you not going to take the 5 minutes to see how you feel? Yeah, I fuck with Max. How you know how you going to feel in 5 minutes? Like, I wouldn't want to cancel no event. Like, if I knew all my fans and family were in the crowd, I would at least wait out the 5 minutes and be like, man, fuck. You could do sit-ups. You could lay down on the fight is stopped. You know, I'll be like, I'll lay down on the mat like this. Damn, y'all got any sweet tea? I'll be right here with it. You got 5 minutes. I'll be like, hey doc, you got some sweet tea? I'll rest. Yeah, give me my 5 minutes. I'll be right here with it. How much time we got? It'd be like when I used to work at Lowe's, I had a 15-minute lunch or a 15-minute break. I'm in the break room. I'll be right here with it. How much time I got? Okay, I got some more, man. Shit, what's up? Man, come on, bro. You have 5 minutes. I'll lay down on the mat. I'm just telling you me, who I am. I'll lay down on the mat, open up Instagram. I just open up my Instagram, be like, oh shit. Like, y'all motherfuckers wait. Y'all pay for the pay-per-view. I'll be on Instagram. Double tap. Oh shit, McLovin. Hold on. Look, McLovin. Double tap. I would double tap all this shit. Oh shit, how much time I got? Man, I'll be on Instagram on my timeline. Fuck that. You give me all the 5 minutes. He didn't want no more because you didn't even wait barely any time, and he was like, it was like super pronounced, like crunching over. Man, I know people who get shot in weird spots and they don't even be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like shots that graze and like flesh, like, just like a grazing shot. Like Q and Juice. When Omar Epps was running and Bishop pulled out the revolver and it hit Q and he's like, he was, he still ran up a flight of stairs and was on the elevator. So what you gonna do? Shoot me in the elevator? Bishop was like, yeah, motherfucker, you know what it is, bro. You already know what it is, partner. Why is it? Q was shot. He was holding the blood. No gauze, no tape, no nothing. So what you gonna do? Shoot me in the elevator? Bishop was like, yup. That motherfucker. Why did Pac pull out the Why he pull out that pistola like that? What you gonna do? Shoot me in the elevator, Pac? Yup, you guessed it. That motherfucker pulled out that boiner. That's so funny. Yeah, Q got shot and still ran upstairs and up to elevators and was fighting on the roof. Remember, Q was on the roof fighting, scrapping with Bishop. Khan get hit in the thigh and it's like wasted. No, bro. Y'all are hella funny. Q popped out his head. Bishop didn't give a fuck at the end because there were hella people in that elevator. That motherfucker didn't care about surveillance cameras by that point. He didn't care who was in the elevator shaft. He said, what you gonna do? Shoot me? Hella people ducked. Oh shit, the motherfucker shooting it. Bro, I don't ever want to be in a situation where somebody start busting in an elevator shaft. There ain't nowhere you to go. You just drop down. Oh shit. Hit number 3. Floor number 3. Like what the fuck are you supposed to hit? The little alarm? Man, I do not want to be in no elevator when someone starts, because it be metal in there. Them bullets, pew, 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 pew. Oh shit, it's ricocheting in this motherfucker. Hell nah. Hell nah. I do not want to be in no elevator and somebody busting. I think that's how they hit Pac in the elevator. As he was getting in the elevator, I don't know if he was fully in it. But hell no, bro. He said con like steel. That's how you know you fat, when you have a Snickers bar and you beatboxing because you gonna eat it. He was always singing this shit when he was about to eat. He had a Snickers. Like, you hella fat. Them motherfuckers was putting beer in the eggs. Yeah. Gotta get it right, buddy. What the fuck is this mess, Stu? This how my moms used to make. Like, you put 40 ounce in there. I'll slap somebody. They make my egg with Old English or whatever the fuck he put in there. Hell nah, bro. Y'all tripping. I ain't never put no beer in no eggs. Beer batter, egg whites, motherfucker. Hell no. Yeah, Khan gave up for sure. He didn't want that. Look, like doing it, that's hella crouched down. Is okay. Oh my God, I just found out. Listen, he quit for sure. He's not even holding the right spot. He's holding just below his belly button. Look, if you look at the replay, he got hit like in the upper thigh, which is like adjacent. It's like it's off to the side of, you know, where you're underneath your belly button. Hey, you can't listen. Look where he's holding. It wasn't even that far over. That's like perfectly down the center. Do you see what I'm saying? He's holding underneath his belly button, but the punch was on his upper thigh. He hit your leg, but you holding the wrong. Come on, bro. That he quit, bro. I'm looking at it right now. He hit you on your thigh, but you hold it underneath your belly button. Yeah, no, bro. You're not even holding the right part. That's like somebody slapped me in the face and I start holding my arm and shit. Oh, ow, ouchie, ow. Like, they just slapped your face. How the fuck your arm hurt? You know what I'm saying? So if someone's like, ego, whap, and then slap me hella hard in the face, and I'm like, ow, ow, owie. No, bro. You grabbing the wrong part. That's what? No, bro. You're not even grabbing where he hit you. And I bet you can. If you get hit in the nuts, I've been hit in the nuts. Pause. That shit hurt. But you got a cup and all this, and it can make you make your stomach hurt. But we literally watched the replay, and it was low, but it was in the thigh. You got hit in the upper thigh. That's like a Charlie horse at best. I ain't never. When do you ever see the pay-per-view boxing fight quit or end on a Charlie horse? Up. All right, we've rendered our verdict. This is a TKO, 6 round via Charlie horse. When do you ever seen a Charlie horse end a fight, bro? You read the judge's scorecard. We got a TCH. Like, TCH? Yeah, technical Charlie horse in the 6th round. This is over. TCH. Technical Charlie horse. That was a Charlie horse at best, bro. Oh, yeah, you from Australia. She said, Elle said, what's a Charlie horse? Y'all don't have them down under? Hey, mate. Crikey. You don't have a Charlie horse down there? Y'all don't know what a Charlie horse is down there? Whoa. Crikey. Y'all don't have Charlie horses? This man had a Charlie horse at best. We had technical Charlie horse knockout. I ain't never seen this shit, bro. Yeah, that's a good point too. Shout out to Juan. How did Mayweather Pacquiao happen if if Arum's claiming that Al Haymon don't work with white promoters? How they do Mayweather Pacquiao then? Oh, that's cute. Look at Elle from Australia. She said, I will Google Charlie horse. Y'all got him in Australia. Y'all got shit. Let me punch you in the thigh. Yeah, I'll show y'all. Y'all got him. So if I punch you in the thigh, the feeling you feel, that's kind of like a Charlie horse. It's like when your muscles spaz up and seize up and cramp. You know what I'm saying? Man, I got a Charlie horse when I was swimming. When I was a kid, I was swimming, right? I was I thought I was a fucking flipper and shit. I was swimming in this shit. I was swimming. And as I was paddling, kicking my legs, I thought I was doing it like on some Aquaman shit. I thought I was Jason Momoa out this motherfucker. And my right leg, it felt like a tennis ball was in my calf and was constricted and squeezing. And I was like, ah! And I almost fell to the bottom, like sunk. I don't even think you could call it a fall, but I almost plummeted. I almost sunk a bit to the bottom of the pool. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was underwater. That shit was crazy. I held my own, though. That shit was scary, bro. Got that Charlie horse underwater, or I fell underwater, because that shit just started. I didn't know what to do. I was like... Hey, that shit was scary, bro. That shit fucked me up in the game. There wouldn't have been no Boxingego. You feel me? There was always no Boxingego. That water trying to get your boy. And boxing drowned it, motherfucker. What? That shit was scary. My legs started like tensing up crazy. Like probably the word. Like that's how I still remember it to this day. He said you ain't quit though. Yeah, I told you I did like a G. I held my own though when I made it back to the top of the water. He said ego to flipper. Y'all doing too much. See, we got the livest live stream. Why you guys say that, L? That's hella funny. I know. I hope people don't come into my chats at weird times. Like, yeah, let's see what he's talking about. Al Haymon and Bob Arum. Click, click. And I'm all... They're like, what the fuck? What did I click on? The black channel. They always simulate drowning. Why are the black channel? The black channels are drowning. They probably click. I hope people don't come to my shit on certain times. They have to be like, what the fuck? Jabba the Hutt. Ego, you keep this up. I can't see the chat keep moving. Keep this up. Netflix gonna call you, nigga, for a special called The Black Channel starring Paul Bear. Undertaker, I've known for a while. Oh, Amir King Khan, he has chosen to quit his fight. Why would Amir give up versus Terrence What, Crawford? Live on pay-per-view. That's also another time I hope no one came to the... I hope no one comes to my streams during these weird times, bro. They'd be like, what the fuck? Is this Paul Bearer? I'm out of here, dude. Fucking gun. I'm out of here, dude. I thought this was about boxing, dude. I'm going to go listen to Country Road. Oh, Undertaker. Anyway, long story short, Spence and Crawford ain't fucking happening next. So you guys can act shocked and accuse ducking and all this bullshit. And boxing fans be playing dumb. Y'all see what I'm talking about? They be playing dumb, as if we ain't been hearing for like the last minute that Sean Porter and Spence are probably gonna unify next. So then because Bob Arum said this, whatever, white promoter and this and all that. Now people, when Crawford and Spence are, oh, I told you somebody was ducking. Al Haymon don't want to make it. I said Al Haymon don't want to make it. Al Haymon don't want to make it. That's how old media sound to me. Well, told you guys. Al Haymon don't want to make it. About to get naked. Al Haymon don't want to make it. Like, shut your dumb ass up. Shut your dumb ass up, though. Spence, but I don't know who wins. You know, like, real talk, it's not going to happen next. So I don't have to know who wins because it's not going to happen recently. So I'll do a fight prediction maybe closer to the time. But as of right now, I don't know because it depends. You know, what if one of them loses or looks vulnerable between now? See, that's what I'm saying. When I talk, I actually, you know, I get paid off this, but I try to make it mean something. You know what I'm saying? I want it to mean something. I don't want to just like throw out predictions and not, you know, information that's not reliable. Your impersonations and Tree don't mix. Who on Tree? I'm not on Tree. Al Haymon don't want to make it. Why would these old media fucks be retarded and shit? Why is I'm not paying for Errol Spence. Why isn't I right? Errol Spence. Why should I buy the pay-per-view? Sean Porter. He's like, Yoda cousin, Dota, like dumbass motherfucker. That's how old media be sounding to me. Watch Porter Spence? Me no like no. Like what? Like I'm a grown ass man. Can you talk grown ass man language? Porter Spence? Not happen. These motherfuckers be playing dumb. He said, Ego, I done woke my pit bulls up laughing. Because these dudes are idiots and you guys know it. That's why you're laughing, because you know I'm keeping it a thou wow. These dudes, we know that Spence is in negotiations with Porter. Kenny Porter had a Kangol on and he was like, yeah, Spence got to be next. So just because Arum came out and said this white promoter and this and he don't want to make the fight and there's only one person, nobody believes that. But the old media, they're going to try to pick up on the story and try to make it look like Al Haymon don't want to work with white people or white promoters or, you know, white Christmas. He don't like that. And, you know, he don't like vanilla wafers. He don't like milk and rice and, you know, white zebras, white lions, all this stupid shit. And you know it had nothing to do with none of that. They got plans for Errol Spence. And like I told you, whether you respect it, whether you want it, whether you like it, no promoter in this current generation of boxing would do different. Just like DAZN has all the middleweights outside of Charlo. Why is DAZN not sending any DAZN middleweights to go fight Charlo on PBC? You know, that's why I said these dudes play stupid. They play dumb. DAZN has more middleweight guys that are known than PBC. How come DAZN is saying, oh, Charlo, if you want an opportunity, sign to us? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? Because DAZN feels like they control the board in the middleweight division, so they can, as they see fit, put on the events, period. Whether you like it or not, that's just the reality of what is in. I'm not here to sugarcoat shit for you. That's the reality, you know. Canelo Jacobs is happening before Canelo Charlo, before Jacobs Charlo, before Andre Charlo, before Triple G Charlo. So Bob Arum having a hissy fit, what's the difference? Why isn't see, you guys, old media, are stupid as fuck. Smash the like button. You guys know you're something ain't registering. Why is no one getting on DAZN's helmet for not having Charlo get an opportunity with Golovkin? Why is, out of all places and all people, why is Triple G fighting against Charlo? Has done very good in New York. You know, he's had impressive performances. Last fight was in New York. I went with Korobov. He knocked out the Sebastian Highland. You know, he's been in New York. Hugo Centeno, I was at that fight in New York. So why is Triple G, a DAZN fighter, fighting against Steve Rolls in New York, not Charlo? But Bob Arum, let him tell it. This is because of Haymon don't want to work with white promoters and all this stuff. Okay, so reverse racism. Eddie Hearn's white and DAZN white, I guess, you know, John Skipper and all them. So why aren't they working with Al Haymon? What's the difference? What is the difference? Not only is it reverse racism, it's also projecting shit you do, you're blaming the other person for. Just like, remember how Gerald Miller said, oh yeah, Joshua, I know this motherfucker on something, and then he's the one that failed the drug test. Same thing. This happens in life. People say things and project, and this is how they feel. They be like, oh, Ego, you're racist, and then they be the real racist motherfuckers. Stop playing with me. Y'all not fucking with me. I told y'all. Just the same way Gerald Miller said Joshua is on something, yet and still, he's the one that failed the drug test. People do this all the time. Oh, Ego, you're fucking biased. You're fucking racist, dude. You're fucking gone. You're fucking out of here, man. And then you look at their comments, they're like, monkey. What? I'm racist when you call people monkey. Okay. You look at their history, they like all racist channels on YouTube. Well, come on, bro. I was born at night, not last night. Let's get it. Y'all know y'all ain't fucking with new media. Stop it. So, yeah. These dudes, it's just all politics. That's all this stuff is. I keep asking questions, yet and still no one answers them. If this is about not working with the white promoter, this is, you know, black ass Al Haymon's black plan, Black Friday to, you know, create the black plague, all this black venom suit. Oh, okay, cool. He just doesn't want to work with a white promoter. That's what you're saying. So tell me why a white promoter in Eddie Hearns and DAZN is not sending Triple G to fight Charlo on PBC. How does it only work one way? Here, I'll double down that. Name a non-mandatory, mandatory, the reason non, because mandatory means you have to do it or someone's going to lose their spot. Name a non-mandatory where Top Rank sent, not a co-promotion, just sent someone totally over to an opposing network. I'll wait. So somebody not so you can't say Vodstick versus Adonis because he was Adonis Stevenson's mandatory. So name a time where there was a top ranked fighter and they fought off of ESPN to make a fight. Never. Sounds about right. I can't think of one. Yeah, like where Crawford at any point went to PBC to fight anybody. Ever. Lomachenko left HBO or ESPN or wherever Top Rank was at that moment, or True TV, to fight anybody. Where Gilberto Ramirez left the network they were on to fight anybody. But you want to throw that on Al Haymon, and see, this is the funny thing. Before I say this, I say facts. They say, oh, you work for Haymon and you sucking Al's dick, all this bullshit. Oh, you sucking PBC dick. But you're not proving me wrong. So with that being said, Al Haymon sent Charles Martin to fight AJ on an Eddie Hearn card. He sent Dominique Brazil to fight AJ on an Eddie Hearn card. He sent Dominic Wade, who he was advising, to fight Triple G on HBO. He sent Daniel Jacobs to consolidate the WBAs with Triple G on HBO pay-per-view. He sent Amir Khan to fight Canelo on HBO pay-per-view. And I know damn well Khan wasn't Canelo's mandatory because he wasn't even a 155-pound fighter. So there's a slew of evidence that shows that Al Haymon will give up his fighters and let them fight on other people's cards. Period. But let's see I just named a bunch of people, a bunch of cards. Name the time where Top Rank did that, where they sent Lomachenko on another person's card. No mandatory, no nothing. Just sent Loma over. Like when Khan fought Canelo just because it was a big fight, or they thought it was a big fight. Exactly. Nobody can think of anything. So I must be a genius because nobody is coming up with any answers or solutions to what I'm asking. Name a time Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez went over to fight, on DAZN against Canelo, or whoever went to Al Haymon to fight Chavez Jr. Anything. Meanwhile, you see the actual contrary. Hey, Deontay Wilder, about that rematch you want. Take some tune-ups on ESPN. And then eventually, you'll get Tyson Fury on ESPN. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. See how that works? So not only is Al Haymon sent people to other people's other promoters' card, but they keep lying and saying he's breaking the Muhammad Ali Act and getting lawsuits dismissed. But again, you also see the projection where it's actually the opposite. Not only is Arum not sending his fighters, he didn't send Pacquiao to go over and fight on an Al Haymon card when he had Pacquiao. He didn't send Tim Bradley. Man, you know how much I would have loved to see Tim Bradley versus Amir Khan, Tim Bradley versus Adrian Broner, Tim Bradley versus Danny Garcia, Tim Bradley versus Keith Thurman. I would have loved those fights. Sent no one over. So once again, you want people to feel sorry for you? Okay. And like I said, it's projection because it's actually the contrary. Wilder, why he got assigned to ESPN for bullshit tune-ups and he just want to fight Tyson Fury. He don't care about the other shit. He don't want to fight Tom Schwartz and, Martin Lawrence and all this shit you trying to do. He trying to fight one guy, set the record straight, and then be up and then go back to his people. Showtime, Steven Espinoza, Shelly. That's what he's trying to do. And then we already know the deal. It was an ESPN multi-fight deal that would eventually crescendo to Tyson Fury. So, once again, the pot calling the kettle black. You can try your best to convince people, but new media is here. So unless they coming up with better arguments than us, then you know who's leading the pack. Al Haymon don't want to make fights, but you try to capture Deontay Wilder as opposed to just letting him fight Tyson Fury. And you got in the way of that fight from happening. You know? So the world sees it. The world sees what I'm saying. That's my time, people. I hope you guys enjoyed your Easter. This was a fun one. Long stream. You know, I'm in my groove, man. I'm in the zone. I feel good. I'm tidying up, spring cleaning. You know, we going to be spending a lot of quality time together. See you later, sweetie, honey, sugar. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. And I know old media can't relate because they going down. Down, 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 down. They going down. They looking sketch out this motherfucker. We doing good. They looking sketch. You know. Oh, and YouTube just sent me the email saying they sent the check over. Oh my gosh. It's only gonna get better. You know. I'm gonna probably buy some more gear. You know, I'm just doing a little bit of tidying up, doing some things on the back end. But I'll have some more announcements for you guys soon. Make sure you sign up for ESPN Plus, link in the description. Box Fan Expo tickets, link in the description. We like Haymon, when it comes to this, we get the most people taking shots at us for no reason, you know, talking about us for no reason. I don't bother nobody. I don't bring nobody. I don't care what other people are doing. People still all in my shit. Why? Oh, ego. Oh, ego. Shave your beard. You know. So we must be on to something, and we're going to keep it that way. Holla. Shout out to my true hustlers, shooters, channel members, gang, gang.